Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining our Facebook Live video. My name is Mike Fillmore. I work in product marketing over here for Henry Schein One, and I'm joined today by Bruce Lipsick. Bruce, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mike. It's great to be here. I appreciate you having me. As you said, my name is Bruce Lipsick, and I'm Vice President of Real Cloud Imaging. We are a exclusive provider of imaging products for Henry Schein One, and I've been doing this for about 25 years, so longer than I can almost remember. And this is the really exciting part that we're looking forward to talking about, Mike. Really exciting stuff coming.
So the reason why Bruce and I are talking here today with everybody is that there's some key topics we want to cover we think are very exciting. And I know that artificial intelligence has just been a really hot topic in dentistry lately. And based on, what we're doing with some of our partners, including Bruce, and some of the things we're planning and some of the things we're seeing customers and prospects say about this, we just wanted to take a minute, I think, to address the topic. Not just about what we're doing, but just about AI in general. I know that that's been going around a lot too. So we thought this would be a useful sort of Facebook Live video to do. Again, we encourage you to leave comments if you have questions about this, and we'll address, sort of where you can get some more information at the end of this on some of these specific things. But Bruce, let's go ahead and kick off maybe our first thing we wanted to talk about. I think we were going to just delve into AI as a term and how and when we use it in dentistry. I think it's a great topic to have you kick off.
It really is, Mike, because it's funny. AI can refer to so many different things and so many different applications. You're using AI today, whether you're using Siri on your phone to be able to request directions. So in dentistry, there's already voice dictation, all kinds of different things that make use of AI already. But we're about to turn the corner and do a little different use of these AI components. Much like in the medical field, we're going to start looking at ways to look at images and diagnose from those images and look at better applications for dentistry. To understand what AI really is, though, in dentistry, as we look at it from a clinical side, what it really is it's machine learning. What happens is that clinicians review thousands of radiographs and they diagnose pathologies on these radiographs, and they feed that information into the computer and it learns what they see as a pathology. We then extrapolate that out by sending millions of x-rays through the computer so that it can apply that same logic and learn from what it's been taught by the clinicians, extrapolate that over millions of x-rays and really be able to look closely at these x-rays and see things very clearly that maybe aren't as clear to some of the earlier clinicians, some of the staff members, especially the patient themselves. When you're looking at this and you're seeing that the computer is helping us to find these and helping bring these to light, it's a really, really good feeling to know that you're working with the latest technology. And that's really exciting stuff.
Well, thank you, Bruce, for kind of that overview. Now, I'm going to channel maybe some of our some of the industry concerns here a little bit when we talk about this, right? This is AI, it's going to be analyzing images for us maybe, right? Why do I need that? I already went to dental school. I already learned how to train my eyes to see things like carious lesions, right? And what to watch and things like that. So I wanted to kind of get into like you said, the pragmatic application of AI. The AI is interesting and it does a lot of cool things, right? But I think there still is maybe some folks in the industry that are wondering, why this is so great right now when I am already trained to take a look at that stuff. Does that make sense?
It's a really good question. It sounds like what you're asking is, what are the benefits of AI as we come into this next level of AI? With voice dictation, it hears your voice more clearly and more accurately, becomes trained on your voice, and it becomes more accurate with the requests. But with this next step of AI, it's a little bit different because these are radiographs that are up on a screen. These are things that you can actually look at and feel and touch. And with this product in particular, we look at it from a clinical decision support type of a functionality. What that means is that we know that the clinician can find these things, and all of our clinicians are great clinicians, but we have staff members and we have up and coming clinicians and early doctors that love to have this little bit of support behind them that says, I know I saw that, but look, the computer sees it too. We agree, we're co-diagnosing this. Then you place it up on the screen and the patient can say, I see it too. I'm co-diagnosing as well. It's patient education. It's staff assistance. It's also a bit of a shortcut for your timing. How much time do you have to look at every single tooth as closely as you possibly can? When in this way, the computer can kind of give you cliff notes and say, look here, look here, look here. I see things already. So it's a lot more support than it ever is replacing a clinician, and it will never replace a clinician. What it will do is it'll help to augment the timing that's available by the clinician to be able to support them and help them to get things done more quickly and in an automated fashion. That's what this next step of AI is, but there's more coming after that, Mike.
No, I think that's great. And when there's more coming, right, we'll end up getting to that. But maybe I jumped the gun just a little bit on, right, where AI is a very broad term. And so what I think you mentioned machine learning, right? And we mentioned what machine learning sort of means a little bit. I wonder if we could hit on that topic just a little bit more and say, look, okay, so we understand from a broad standpoint what AI is, but why is AI so important? What is it about AI, right, that it's doing that might be able to improve upon clinical training? I think is a good question for us.
The question is, what won't it do? Because remember, each time the AI components come out, they have something called indications for use. Indications for use means this is what my AI component is specializing in here. And oftentimes they'll even need FDA 510K approval from the government to make sure that they validate that what they say is really what's happening. So it's actually very, very impressive, but there are multiple different indications for use that'll continue to come down the road. And this is what Henry Schein One has done so specially. This is what's so important from the Henry Schein One team, is that the way we implement these indications keeps it in the standard workflow of the practice. When a product is a third-party disparate imaging product, it can be very, very powerful. But if you need to import images and export images to get them there, if you need to learn third-party applications and where those tools are and be able to launch that application and view those images in that application, you have a learning curve. And that learning curve is also often becomes a barrier to entry. What happens is that they start using it and they try it and they like it. And after 2 or 3 days, it becomes so cumbersome to get to that technology that they push it aside and stop using it.
It just reminds me of our intraoral cameras, right? That got introduced several years ago. And when they came out, they were amazing, right? It's that silver bullet technology. I leave the goop behind. But it was interesting to see, again, with some people that brought that technology in. If it wasn't integrated well, it ended up on a shelf in 6 months because it introduced more work than it helped save, right? It was a great extra thing, a way to elevate your patient care, your patient experience. But because it created more work instead of less, it became a burden instead of a help to the practice. And that's why I really want to, like you said, we keep talking about the pragmatic approach to AI. That is what Bruce over here with RCI, is what Henry Schein One want to do. We want to have a pragmatic approach to how we do this, because it matters in the end, not just that this AI is going to be able to help with detection of this indication or that indication, this disease progression, right? It's in the end, those things are good, but the best workflow is no workflow, is to have it where, it's a regular part of what you do every day. So I know we were headed that direction, Bruce, but I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you were going to finish up.
That's the advantage. That's the advantage that we have, Mike. We're not a third-party application. Dentrix Detect AI is not available to anybody except a Dentrix customer. There is no third-party standalone application. This is a Dentrix product. And because it's a Dentrix product, we know how they use the products, and we can weave it directly in the existing workflow of the practice. Today, through Dentrix, you take your x-rays, a bite wing x-rays, a full mouth series, whatever it might be, and we put the AI directly in the existing workflow. There's not a single extra step, not a single extra click. Whatever button you pushed yesterday to take an x-ray, today that x-ray will come up on the screen and AI detections will automatically be populated on the screen. You can turn them off if you don't want to look at certain ones, but it happens directly in the workflow of the practice. There's nobody else that can say that. There's nobody else that does that. Anybody else would have to bridge from one application to another. That's one of the main reasons we put this in the workflow of the practice. By embedding the technology in Dentrix, We stop the customer from having to do any extra steps. There's no barrier to entry, and it's the exact same workflow they used yesterday. It just adds new features and functionality. It's very impressive, and that's the most important reason that we did it in the workflow. But the best advantage of it being in the workflow is that it's a part of the practice management. What happens with AI, Mike, is that it puts forward actionable intelligence. Actionable intelligence means that there's something on the screen that can require an action. Something on the screen that says, oh, I see that, now I want to do something about it. And in a standard practice, they would look on the screen, realize they want to do something about this, and then shout to the front desk to put a watch note on 27 or to enter a procedure for tooth number 12. Instead, we've put it directly in the Dentrix application. So we'll be able to post back into that application as we move forward and be able to populate that actionable intelligence directly back into the patient record and the patient chart without doing it manually. We'll do it in an automated fashion via the computer. That is our story to the market, and that's what we do. We automate the interaction between practice management and imaging, making it work for the doctor.
And what do we see when we talk about AI in the future?
Well, that's actually the best part. This is phase one, Mike. Phase one was introducing artificial intelligence from a clinical standpoint. Now that we've shown people what happens on an image and they understand artificial intelligence and respect it and trust it, now you can take, like we discussed, those actionable intelligence that come forward, no matter what the indications would be. As we discussed, there will be multiple more indications for use coming. Today we started with caries detection. We're moving forward with RBL and radiographic bone loss, and soon we'll be looking at implants. Soon we'll be looking at different plaque and different calculus type of detections. So all of these different detections will bring forward opportunities. Those opportunities are what we call the actionable intelligence. Okay, I've detected that there's caries. What do? You act on it. How do I act on it? Do I shout up to the front, hey, put a watch note on 27, like we said? Or do you just right-click on the screen and immediately enter it in the patient record? So all of these things are what's coming forward, the automation of acting upon this intelligence and focusing it through the patient record so it can automatically set procedures to be done, so that it can automatically set watch notes, so that it can automatically communicate with the patient record. These are the values of the next phase that we see. And then from there, we'll get into one of the most exciting phases, which is data mining. Data mining, the actual ability to look into the database, scan the entire database, and be able to bring forward intelligence from there that we can inject into the patient record so that when the patient comes in, we're prepared to talk to them about certain components. Maybe not even wait till they come in, use some of our search engine optimization, some of our patient engagement components, and reach out to the patient and say, hey, I want you to know we did a little search and 27 seems to have a little area we'd like to look at. Could you come in? Suddenly you're proactively reaching out to customers with intelligence that you brought forward from your AI engine, and you're acting on that intelligence, bringing people in to have them treated earlier for better detection and better health.
Nice. I like that we're kind of, coming to full circle, I think, on, what is AI and what does it matter to the dental industry in the first place? And really the first and last of this for us that we're focused on here is the quality of patient care, right? The clinical excellence. We want to help to be able to provide that help. The tools that we provide should help us provide better care. It's great if it helps you find a little more money for the practice, a little more treatments that need to be done, right? But in the end of the day, that is a side benefit of the value here, which is to actually treat earlier, treat more often, be preventative, right? Versus restorative. I know that there's, a mix of both we'll have in a lot of practices, but providing better patient care sooner is what we really want to implement this kind of technology for, after all, because that is what it's about. When the practice does better and the practice wins, then we win. And that's where we really want to be tied to them.
It's predictive analytics. As we move forward, suddenly we'll be able to predict some of these procedures that need to happen, some of these things that happen, predict them and catch them earlier, and thus provide the patient with better overall health.
So I think that's pretty much what we wanted to make sure we talked about today. Again, we want to make sure if you have questions, put them in the comments. We'll answer them when we can. And also, if you're curious and you're interested in what Bruce and I and a team here have been doing in regards to our product, Detect AI, there is more information in the comments that you can get there if you have questions about it. But again, we're interested in educating and helping people understand what this is, why it's valuable, not just from a product standpoint, but concept as well. But we want to thank you for kind of coming to join us today to talk about this stuff and look forward to talking more about this in the future. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me. It was a terrific conversation.